My name is Bagge. I'm the cyber attache to the United States and Canada. I'm here since August 2018. I'm the representative of the Czech Republic from the National Cyber Information Security Agency. My role here is to forge and deepen partnerships on the G2G level, I mean between the Czech government and the United States government. My job description basically means that I'm working closely with all the institutions here dealing with cybersecurity, being it National Security Council, State Department, Department of Homeland Security, Pentagon, to a certain extent US Congress and so forth. I'm also talking a lot to private businesses, to corporations, to the corporate world, because they do have a lot of information that it's necessary to do proper cybersecurity. And I'm speaking about software developers, hardware vendors, and let's say platforms, social media platforms as well. Because they do have certain capacities that they can spot trends and let's say they can share indicators of compromise that are invisible thanks to their infrastructure to national governments sometimes. I also work with the academia here, namely the National Defense University. Part of the job here is that's not only information sharing, but is also providing our specific know-how, policy discussions, and also strategic level, let's say, discussions regarding to some threat actors in cyberspace. I would say it's critical to share some insights on the issue from a perspective of a guy who was dealing not only with the technical aspect of it, but also on the policy and strategic level aspect of that. Because what we have found out, and what is basically quite transparent to us over the years and experience we have back home, is that having very skilled technical people is essential. You cannot do any cybersecurity without them. You cannot do it without skilled people, trained personnel, high-class technologies, and valid processes. On the other hand, not to offend anyone, these are assets, right? And if you do not have people in the right positions to be able to make the right decisions on time and make an informed decision, all the assets are basically lost. If you deal with the incidents only on the isolated level, you are a good plumber. You're not a good housekeeper, I would say. And this is the task of the strategic level decision making. Why I'm saying that is, for instance, if there is like a series of events, I would say cybersecurity incidents, and it's like part of a larger campaign, and you deal with the incidents one by one, well, good for you. But you are completely missing the bigger picture. If your leadership on the strategic level is unable to see the bigger picture, they're unable to comprehend what's actually going on, well, then you have already lost. It's not only about, let's say, employing high-tech solutions to your networks and to your, let's say, critical infrastructure. It's also to protecting the decision-making chains, the command and control. And again, it's not only about technology, it's about the resiliency of the individuals who are part of that chain. I would say it's critical, especially today. We already have technical programs. We already have non-technical programs for, let's say, strategic studies or security studies. And my opinion is they have to be somehow merged. It's very important to have people, future workforce, working on the national level, international level, to have them actually appreciate both aspects. So I would definitely vouch for, let's say, graduate programs that combine the technical and non-technical aspects of cybersecurity. I've personally seen very, very smart people working in our agency, but they have like no concept about geopolitics. And geopolitics play a significant role today. Okay, everybody says, okay, cyber weapons and cyber issues basically enabled smaller players in the global arena. However, that doesn't mean that big players are not, pacing up with their efforts. So you can see that understanding only one part of cybersecurity is not enough today. And on the other hand, I've seen very, very smart people from the, let's say, strategic, arena, or like policymakers, security studies students, graduates, postdocs, who are well aware of the power struggle between countries, international relations theories, or even going a little bit lower on the tactical level, experts on specific threat actors, countries, groups. They are linguistically equipped. They have been dealing with the countries for years, but they have like absolutely no idea what's possible in cyberspace. Therefore, I would say that the new graduate programs that are being developed or have been developed recently, they should address both issues. One of the findings in the book is about the fact that From the strategic perspective, I would say that the military culture is now that, especially in the Russian Federation, that the influence operations have a comparative impact to weapons of mass destruction. You might laugh on that because there's like no explosion, you're not destroying any infrastructure, but it's about the effect. The effect of some kinds of WMDs is basically to bend the will of the population, of the nation, to bend the will of decision makers to succumb or to just be unable to make any decision that's rational for them. And in this case, the influence operations might attain the same target, actually, the same aim. If you're skilled enough and you pour very, very fractious amounts of money in comparison with like developing a WMD program, you can actually reach the same without having to employ WMDs. You bend the will of a nation, you turn it away from the rational interest they might have. You might be even able to turn their interest from their well-being towards a virtual issue that you have created for them. And this is all very, very dangerous.